What you doing, CZ? So good boy. Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Friday, June 7th, 2019. As you can see, clear blue skies today for freaking once at the homestead. It's a nice change. We are cranking in power. So we're going to get into the topic here in just a moment. We're going to talk about gardening and the importance of gardening and how critical gardening is going to be in an SHTF situation. And so we're going to go over that in a moment. But I just wanted to talk a little bit real quick with the solar system. Yesterday we had a lot of rain yesterday and very, very overcast, and I think we pulled in only like 3.7 kilowatt hours for the day. Today I have been in absorption mode since very, very early this morning because it's so nice out. It's just, like I said, it's clear blue skies. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm realizing very, very fast now that we've changed and we put our panels this way, that my next thing that I really going to need to focus on will be upgrading batteries. Either adding more batteries, adding another 4 batteries anyway, or just changing out and getting a different brand altogether. So that is that. So let's get on to the topic of gardening. How important is gardening? So I came out this morning and I was weeding. I still have this bark that I'm going to put out here a little bit through some of the rows. But I still have this area right here that I'm going to throw something in yet. I haven't decided. I'll figure that out. But there's a nice big onion that grew naturally, and then there's another onion there that grew naturally. But so I'm going to talk about a little bit about the garden, and then we're going to kind of go from there. So I have 12 tomato plants in my garden because I have 2 gardens this year. So we'll go over to the other one as well. So because I expanded this year. But we put in 12 tomato plants. I still need to get a tomato cage for this one here, and I need to get a tomato cage for this one here. But so we put in the 12 tomato plants. I put in 2 rows of onions, which are different kinds of onions. And now you can see these over here growing up. Those little ones that you see sprouting up through there, that is carrots. These here are all radishes, okay? All that through there is radishes. Over here, we have, over on this side, I believe is the peas on this side, and this side is all green beans. So that's what I put in there, and they're actually coming up fantastically. Okay, we got peppers in the back here. I put in 6 pepper plants back there. I think I may end up getting tomato cages for those as well, just because as they get bigger. Out of the garden. Come on, out. And that's why we have the garden walled off. But okay, so with gardening, it's really, really important to stay on top of stuff. So I came in, like I said, this morning, and I weeded in the garden. I still have some around the outside, some weeding to do, which I will take care of that. But I want to make sure that inside that there's no kind of crap. So because I put the wood chips down this year, it's really kept the weeds down a lot better. And then obviously I have the wood ash spread out over everything as well. Okay, but because of having the wood chips down, it has really made a huge difference as far as weeds go with the garden. So we're going to walk over to the other garden too. So how important is gardening, after SHTF? Now I've talked about gardening before, but I just really wanted to let people know how critical I think that it is. That again, eventually, and this whole area in here is all going to be greenhouses. That is what I'm definitely going to be putting in here. That's probably going to be a next year project if we have a next year. We will see what happens. But I definitely want to put in greenhouses, even if I put in like one here and then one next to it here. I was thinking about it, and then because I was going to go the other way, go lengthwise, I've decided against that. I'm going to keep that garden spot there to be able to utilize, because I don't want to block the solar panels with a building shading the solar. So if I put in 2 decent length greenhouses through this area, I think that would be, or one great big one. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But anyway, so greenhouses are definitely something you should really be thinking about as well, because it extends your growing season both ways. You can start growing earlier and you can continue to grow later, and then you can have your winter crops as well, which your cold weather stuff like kale and that type of thing that will grow in a colder environment. Okay, so the other garden here we have through the center is cantaloupes. No, I'm sorry, butternut squash through the center. On the outside, we have cantaloupes. We have cucumbers in here. So I think there's 2 different kinds of cantaloupes. There might be 2 different kinds of cucumbers as well. Like I said, the butternut squash. These are the plants that are going to spread out. So that's why I put them over here, because I don't care if they climb the fencing and all that type of stuff, which they will. You'll see that as they continue to grow, okay? But they're all doing very, very well. As you can see, they're healthy and they all look good. So that's an important thing. So the importance of gardening, guys, and again, I've talked a lot about learn how to garden now, because you can't just put things in the ground and expect them to come up and have no kind of maintenance to do or know what kind of soil you need to be using, because all soil is not the same. This soil over here, I mean, you can even see it now. I mean, it is a really dark, really rich soil. So the soil over in this part of the property is absolutely fantastic. So that's a really, really good indicator that you're going to want to use that type of soil. That soil is just perfect for growing. Absolutely. And like I said, I really think that these are going to do really, really well this year because of that. And hold on once. Oh, I see them. Okay. I was making sure. Oh, there are other ones here. Okay. I'm making sure that they didn't run off. But gardens are very, very important, especially after SHTF. Being able to grow food, that is going to be the #1 way that we are all going to survive after an SHTF situation. Learning how to grow now, what works, what doesn't work. Miracle Grow and those type of things, guys, are not going to be available in a post-event, okay? I also, in my gardens, on both of them, you will see marigolds. That helps keeps different bugs away, because they don't like the smell of it, and so they won't attack the plants because of the marigolds. I learned that from my grandparents, who were Depression era people, and they knew their stuff. So, but anyway, you know, with the gardening, it's so important to learn. And if you haven't started doing it, and like I said, I don't care if you live in an apartment, you can put planters out on the balcony or wherever. You can figure something out to learn how to do those gardens. Microgreens is another way. Learning how to do that, that's something you can also utilize and eat. So those are a couple options that you have. But if you can put a garden in the ground, you hear my rooster going in there. One of them anyway. So putting those in the ground is going to be a great way to learn. Get your hands dirty, work the soil, become part of that and learn from that experience. I mean, every year is different. You never know weather-wise what you're going to get. Hey! Hold on, guys, I'm sorry. Back here. Pandora and Caesar. Come here, Pandora. Good girl. Good girl, Pandora. You were listening, and you're usually the one that doesn't. Caesar. So anyway, those are things, like I said, with garden. Sorry, I'm going to be yelling at my dogs. Well, I just have to keep an eye on them. They took off, like I said, the other night when I was doing my live stream, if anybody was watching that, so they know. And they were gone probably about an hour. And I said I was going to whip them. I never whipped them. I just was happy they came back and that they were safe. But I gave them a scolding. Because at that point, they didn't know what they did wrong. If you can catch them right when they do something wrong, that's the time to punish an animal. Otherwise, like dogs, they have no idea why you're punishing them. So anyway, but getting your hands dirty and learning how to do those type of things, again, it's really, really important. Again, I've talked about this before, knowing your wild edibles. Know those too, because everything's in nature that we can eat, okay? It's all right there. So if we get out there in nature and eat stuff, that's going to be really, really good. So one of the things, while I'm thinking about it, I wanted to mention again, I'm going to be doing my live stream tonight, and I already know what my topic is going to be. We're going to be talking tonight about martial law and what are the chances of martial law being enacted in this country. So we're going to talk about that and what happens with martial law if it's enacted and how everything goes with that. And what could be a trigger? What could be that trigger that's going to enact it? So look for that tonight on my live stream at 8 o'clock. I wanted to mention also, guys, that we have a sale going on right now still at the website, preppernurse1.com. For the legacy foods, it is a 120 meal bucket, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's buy one, get 50% off the second one. So if you are looking to add to your long-term food storage, that is a perfect opportunity for your freeze-dried foods to get those. With a sale like that, it's a very good sale. So if you want to take advantage of that, go check it out on my website, okay? So anyway, again, I wanted to show you something else too. Now, ever since I have been a kid, very, very allergic to poison ivy. And there we are, poison ivy right here. Okay, poison ivy growing up right there. All right. So yeah, we got poison ivy here, and you always tell with poison ivy, it's got like the even symmetrical, the leaves. If you're looking at the leaves right here, you see how they're three, got the two on the side and then the one out. They all are very symmetrical. So that's how you can tell that that's poison ivy. But now, if I rip this down, which I will probably do at some point, you don't want to burn that, because once you burn that, that gets in the air, and if you are susceptible to poison ivy, it will get in your lungs and it can kill you. So you just want to get it down and kill it and get rid of it and put it to the side somewhere and let it go there. But anyway, so just wanted to point that out to you. Thought that was interesting. And so we do have poison ivy, and our poison ivy is doing well. But so I wanted to mention a couple things with the chickens. Okay, I have the windows cracked right now, and what I'm doing is I don't leave them cracked all the time. It's very cool and comfortable in the chicken house. I've already been in there today, and what I do, in the evening, probably about 5, maybe 6 o'clock at night, I'll come in and I'll close the windows, and I lock the windows up at night. Okay, the raccoons cannot get through the windows at this point. Somebody has suggested putting, the fencing up over the windows, which I probably will do at some point if I decide to keep the windows open through the night so that the raccoons and stuff, can't get in there. But we'll see. I'm not sure yet. I like the fact that if I can lock them up, because somebody said, well, the raccoons could climb the boards and get through the windows. Not when they're locked up. So that's, they're not going to come around during the day. So that's why I do that. Somebody asked me why I lock everything up. So I actually had about 3 people ask that, and I did reply to a couple of them. So I just wanted to mention why I do that as well. I have the locks on here. I'm not worried about theft. I'm not worried about my neighbors. I'm worried about raccoons. Raccoons, if I have, okay, so we're going to go around here real quick. I just wanted to mention this. So I got the lock here. That's going to be the door that's going to open up to the run once I get the run set up, okay? So I lock that up. A raccoon could pull that open and get in if I don't have that lock on there. Same with these locks on here. They could pull that up and get right in there. Same thing with the back, the locks on here for the the nesting boxes. If I don't have those locks on there, a raccoon can get up in there and get in and kill those chickens, and we don't want that. So we want to keep sure everything is safe and locked up. So that's why I put the locks on there. Not for any human predators. That's strictly for the 4-legged kind that's looking to hurt the chickens. So that's what's going on with that. They will be completely fenced in. I'm not going to let them free range. Again, we have dogs over here that are not very, I'm sure not chicken friendly. And, I have 8 cats and I have my 2 dogs, but my dogs would want to play with them. And I don't think the chickens would want to play with the dogs. So that's why they will be isolated. I will do a chicken tractor for them down the road. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the whole thought of gardening and how important it is in an SHTF situation. I think it's hugely, hugely important. And again, to gain those skills now, working with soil, knowing what soil is going to work, how to also make compost, so you can do a composting bin to help make more soil. If you put the barrel in and you put all those leaves in there, and then you put your scraps in there, and then you're going to rotate that barrel, you're going to end up with some really, really great soil. And then if you throw some earthworms in there too, it's going to even be better. Earthworms are going to really, really help that, break that soil down and make you a nice rich soil that you can use for gardening. Soil, guys, is the key. I'm telling you right now. I've said it many times. Soil is the key to good gardening. So if you have good soil, you're just going to excel with gardening. So anyway, guys, I am going to jump off here because this video is getting longer. Look for me in a live chat tonight. We are going to be talking again about the possibilities of martial law. What is the chances of martial law happening in the United States? And what would be a trigger for it? What would they use for it? And what happens after martial law? We'll talk about that, okay? So anyway, I will talk to you all later tonight. Remember, guys, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. So that's one thing that you want to really think about, and try to help your neighbors and your friends if you possibly can. Also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen each day. So it's important to do that, to tell them how you feel every single day. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself. Nobody else can stop you, okay? So stay positive, stay away from negativity, and you'll be fine. And just work methodically. And believe it, a lot of stuff gets done, okay? I will talk to you all later. Puppies! I'll talk to you all later. I will see you tonight on the live stream at 8 o'clock, all right? Have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now. Here's my babies. Come on. Good puppies. Good babies.